So we went through and we read the prompt, and all we did was take from here, let's look at 1.1 again. You get to the spot, really the second paragraph is the one that says exactly what you need to do. So on that paragraph, we went through and we highlighted the things that we knew that have to be in the essay. So each thing, so we started like blah, 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 blah. After rereading and annotating, okay, so we know you have to annotate this piece. And then it says, you will write a paper that paraphrases the argument being made. Highlight that. You will need to identify the central claim. Highlight that. As well as the main ideas and key evidence. Highlight. In developing your paraphrase, you will sketch out for your reader the structure and scope. Highlight. Okay? All these things. Hi, come on in, grab that seat right there. All of these things are things that you have to do in order to make the grade for this, right? So then we went back through and we circled the verbs. So it was like write, identify, sketch out, paraphrase. So you have all these really specific things, ways that you need to hit the target. Okay? Does that make sense, Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need to get you copies. We're going over the prompts. So we're going over short paper 1.1. Actually, can you give her Jocelyn? Tell me your name again. Billy. Okay, I'm Mrs. T. Nice to meet you. So then from there we took just a piece of paper to plan out how we're going to do this, and we did just an expository outline. The one thing that we've learned from all of the research is that students are going to do well in college if they can take a prompt and go, this prompt is like this. It is not like this. Okay, so in the cover of your book, I want you to write, it is like. It is not like. I know that sounds really elementary to start a college level paper, but if you can identify, okay, this paper is like 1.4 because it's expository. It's not like a claim paper that we wrote in Mr. Soliday's class. That just sets in your head what format you're going to write this in. So it is like, it is not like. And it's one thing that at the UW, when they were training teachers how to teach these classes, they went back over and over that. Like, you have to be able to decide how it compares to other things you've had experience with. So we know that this is going to be an expository paper, right? You're explaining something. You're explaining his argument. It is not a claim paper. You are not persuading anybody that his claim is right. You're just paraphrasing his claim, correct? Okay. So then you take all the things that you know are in this prompt and you're going to break it up. So you know that in this essay, the first, on the main idea of your first paragraph here, right? Like this, just old school expository. The main idea goes on this side. The details and important things go over here. Okay, so you know in this one, you're going to paraphrase an argument being made in the literature. Right, so we all wrote that down. Is that what you had? Yeah. There we go. Then you're going to identify a central claim. You're going to talk about the main idea or purpose of the claim. Then, we're going over prompts right now, Malachi. Then you're going to write key evidence and examples that support the claim there. The next one would be structure and slope. So we talked about, or structure and scope. I can't read. It's not math. We're going to talk about structure and scope. If this should be good for a while. For scope, what we talked about, and I want you guys to just draw yourself a little picture, because in the first period class, they're like, we don't really know what scope is. Draw yourself a little telescope.
Wait, what's the second one?
It's structure and scope.
Okay.
So you're talking about the structure and scope of how he develops this claim. So for scope, if you think about it, it's like you're looking at something, through a telescope, and it's way up there. It is up there in space, and you can see the end goal, but you know that this expanse between it is also incredible. Like, it's vast, there's details, there's all these things. The scope is just like how you get from here to all the way over there. Okay? And each author has a way of creating that scope and organizing it. Then, in the first period, we broke it down even further. We put what is at stake. So, if you believe this claim, if you support it, what's at stake? But if you don't, what happens if you don't support this claim? What is the author warning you against? And so, I'll give you a little hint. They helped me understand that it is a bridge between two ideas, and that if you don't have this bridge to link two ideas, they thought that you would stay stuck. I don't know if that helps you at all, but you would stay stuck thinking in one way rather than having a bridge between two ideas. So we just took that in our notes and we started writing it in our details.
What was the first one for the first box?
Key evidence and examples that support the claim.
Okay.
I'm going really fast, sorry.
Can you go to the very first one with it?
Yeah, because I structured it differently in this one. I had purpose here, main idea here.
Oh yeah, that works. That works. So this is,
Agreement. Yeah, okay.
and then on the other side,
Oh, we're having two. Okay. And
evidence and examples to support the claim, structure and scope. We have that, and then what's at stake?
oh,
And then identify what is essential and the implications was the final thing.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you, let me give you mine and you can look at it and copy down what we have. Okay, so something that you can do with that is as you're annotating, you're gonna go through, and I gave you some sticky notes. You're annotating, you're reading, don't even read it before you do this, because you'll waste your time. You'll have to go back and reread, and you just won't even have a clue what you're doing. So then you read, and as you annotate, you could put your annotations on here, and when you find things, so you're like, oh, that fits on what this argument really is about. That's the central idea. You stick it in that section. And then you're like, oh, this is a super good point. I'm gonna put page blah, blah, blah. And it works with small, you can cut these in half too. Page blah, blah, blah. That is a really good quote. I really like that. Then you think that you're gonna put it like, let's say Lauren thinks, ooh, yeah, that fits right here with this one right here. Structure and scope, like really well defined right here. I'm gonna put it right here. And then later she reads it and she's like, oop, that doesn't work there actually. It works more on what is at stake. What happens if you don't believe it? Does that make sense? That way, as you're reading and annotating, it's things that you can move around and think about. When you get more advanced, you can do that on the computer, where you can just like highlight it, put it places. Like when I wrote my national boards, I read through all the standards, and I just took the standards, highlighted them, and put them in paragraphs, And then once I started typing, I would take them out of the paragraphs, because I knew I wanted to hit that standard here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you can move it, but this is an easy way to move it and see it. Okay? Okay. So now let's glue in your prompt and your rubric behind this plan. And then we're going to do 1.2 together. We're going to break it down together. Okay?